I guess when he goes into town, I don't know that like you're necessarily expecting him to immediately purchase a messenger hawk. We probably should have seen
No.
that coming, but just from a
Yeah.
practicality standpoint. But he meant what he said. He wanted a messenger hawk. He
He
very
got it.
creatively names it hockey.
Yes. Well, and it's
Yeah.
not a regular hawk. That hawk, I don't know if it's a hybrid hawk. He has
I
other
don't think
things
it
going on.
is.
I don't.
I think maybe
It's just a
just a
fancy
hawk.
hawk. It's just a fancy hawk.
He has
Yeah.
things coming off his head that I don't really see on other hawks.
Well, he's an avatar hawk. You know, even the
Okay.
regular animals there have a little flair. You know, except for
Right.
Bosco. Bosco's just a bear.
Also, that horse with the carriage that y'all swindled
Yeah.
was a weird horse.
Well, I think
Oh.
that's like
Mule.
an eagle horse, or was that the one with like feathers on it for
I don't-
ears?
Is
it
it
looked like it
it's
was
not an
part
ostrich horse?
dragon. Looked like
Ostrich
something
horse, right?
dragonish or something fishy.
So yeah, so he's got hockey, but before he can really just dwell in this excitement of having hockey, he notices this wanted poster for a, if I might say, very fangy looking Toph. Very
Yeah,
lot
it's
of
like
lot of sharp
Nightmare Toph.
teeth.
It was like Nightmare Toph in the middle of the night. Like, dang, really?
Yeah,
Cool
Yeah,
though.
so this-
cool.
I've scared a lot of people apparently.
I guess so. So there's this poster out there, not great news, which, Sokka's like trying to get hockey on board and agreeing it's not good and hockey poops. I guess that's him showing his support.
Yes.
I'm not sure. But
Yeah.
back at camp, yeah, right? That's what birds do. Katara and Aang are practicing waterbending. Toph is sort of counting her spoils, and Sokka shows her the poster, which of course Toph can't see.
Well, it sounds like a piece of paper.
Exactly. So he's kind of walk through it with her. But she's psyched. She's got this tough new nickname, the Runaway. And I just want to quickly point out, this is a little bit of a share me the details moment. But before he finds the Toph poster, he actually crosses over across two other posters. The first poster is a poster for Love Amongst the Dragons, which is a play that was mentioned. Well, we'll see it Foreshadow Report. We'll see it mentioned again in the Ember Island Players. It's also in the Search trilogy for those of you who have dug into the amazing graphic novels. The second one is then for a messenger hawk training class, which it seems like Sokka maybe should have paid attention to and could have used. But if you go to that wonderful tome, that wonderful resource that I love and talk about all the time, the Avatar, the Art of Avatar book, you can go to the page of this show, of this particular episode, and it will show you like the translations of the posters. You can also see a design of the whole town and kind of how the Ozai statue is created by the illustrators,
Wow.
the calligraphy
Wow.
posters that are SLE. We shouted SLE out before their translations, including that apparently the Toph poster says that Toph disguises herself as a
Yes.
blind person.
Yes.
So
Ooh.
she's so fierce and awesome that
Yeah.
the outsiders have been like, oh, well, she's clearly not blind. Like she
Yeah.
can do too
No.
many things. So
Yeah.
I love
She's
that little
pretending
tidbit.
to be blind and is somehow scheming everyone.
Exactly.
When you just said like how you can see how the Ozai statue was like drawn, for a second I thought you were gonna say there was blueprints in there how they built it. For a second.
Almost.
And I wanted
This is
to
a very
see
complex show.
if there was the
Almost.
gas going through there and there was the
You
people.
wanna know.
How
I
it
don't know.
works.
You want to know how the
How does it
I
work?
want to know how the architects do this.
Obviously, Toph is getting the wrong takeaway from this. She's totally psyched about her new
But
nickname.
this is the
and
first time hearing about this, about the play. So you're telling me the play in the Search is the play that they're showing, which is Zuko's mom's in that play? Am I?
No, I'm saying that you'll hear the play talked about, Foreshadow
Okay,
Report,
Foreshadow
in
Report.
the Ember Island Players episode.
Yes.
and
And then the play is also
and in the
important
Search.
in the Search. Exactly.
Mhm.
Exactly. So just something to keep your eyes and
Little
ears
nugget.
peeled for.
Okay.
And so now Sokka's starting to think maybe Katara was right. You know, he's seeing that there's this wanted poster for Toph, that maybe they're drawing too much attention to themselves. And he's like, this is, I think Katara was onto something. And then Toph just basically bribes Sokka to change his mind.
Shh.
Keep it a secret, don't
shut.
tell her.
Go buy something. Go buy something.
He falls
pretty.
for it.
Exactly.
He
exactly.
could be bought. He could be bought.
I guess that's not shocking. It's not shocking.
It's not socking.
It's socking. It's not socking.
It's
and
not
it's not shocking. Exactly. Exactly.
It's bad.
Exactly. So then Katara and Aang meet Hawkeye, and that's when Sokka realizes that he actually has no idea how messenger hawks even do what they do. And Momo is not into it either. Momo is not feeling it. There's a very violent chase that ensues.
No, yes.
He's not into this new buddy. And then later, Katara's feeding Appa when Toph and Sokka come back with fresh loot from town. And Katara has found the poster. So she confronts Toph with it. And there's really only one way. And this is such a familiar scene to so many of us in our real lives as young people, or as parents, I guess, for that matter, where, the only way that Katara could have found the poster is if she went through Toph's stuff. So
Yep.
it is no longer the argument immediately.
That crosses
Toph
some
kind of
lines.
gets the
That
upper
crosses
hand,
some
right?
lines.
Yeah, because now it's like about you touched my stuff. You went into my stuff. You went through everything. You don't get to do that.
Invading my
Yep.
privacy.
Not cool.
Exactly. And I get it. I don't disagree. It's not a great look.
And she also forgets I'm blind.
I mean, yeah.
The worst thing is to go through someone's stuff and then you find what you were looking for.
I know.
Yeah.
Not
I
great.
know.
I just feel like we've all had that. Like, I've definitely
Of
had
course, of
that
course.
exact argument with a parent where they're like, look what I found. And I'm like, how dare you go through my stuff? And they're like, look what I found, though. And I'm like, how dare you go through my
You go
stuff?
through
And
my
it just
stuff.
becomes
You
two
just-
separate arguments and two separate fights.
You're not on the same page.
You're like, I was hiding that from you for a reason. And now we all see
Exactly.
you're really upset.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Tough.
It's
It's
just
tough.
very familiar. Very familiar.
What are you going to do? Send me to my room? I wish I could. Well, you can't, because you're not my mom and you're not their mom. I never said I was. No, but you certainly act like it. You think it's your job to boss everyone around, but it's not. You're just a regular kid like the rest of us. So stop acting like you can tell me what to do. I can do whatever I want.
The Toph and Katara thing, it's such a bummer when people in your crew or your family are not getting along. It's the most major bummer of all time. But this really burns Katara, the whole Toph thing, no pun intended. And it's
Mhm,
not
Fire
like
Nation.
Sokka and Aang
Mhm.
can fully defend her because, well, she is acting motherly, right? She is kind of being that girl right now.
Yeah.
Like, come on, Katara, you're being that girl.
And she yells at Aang and is like, sit up
She's
straight
yelling.
when you're
She's
talking to me."
yelling
Yes,
at
ma'am.
everybody.
Yes, ma'am.
Like, there's people talk about that alpha male energy. There's always that alpha female too. And then we don't call the alpha female out as much as they call out the alpha male dude. But it
Mhm.
happens. So all this adds up to Katara and Toph not speaking to each other, leaving Sokka and Aang to try to use hockey to heal the rift between the two. They figured out hockey real quick. They found the instructions because hockey was like, yeah, I'm into it. Like, I'm gonna go deliver this thing right over there.
Yeah.
So
It's
he
a
writes
nearby
an
delivery.
apology.
Yeah,
It's a
close.
nearby. You got to start
Local
with
training.
close before you go across the seas. He writes an apology note to Katara, pretending to be from Toph,
It's just so bad.
It's so bad, Michaela.
but yet he's forgetting the key factor that Toph doesn't know how to write. Why would she? And they probably won't get very far if they send that note to Toph from Katara. But Katara was smart enough, and she ripped up the note. So now Sokka's gonna have to figure this out without Hockey or Aang's help. He grabs Toph to go have a heart-to-heart, not realizing that Katara is swimming or bathing or something directly underneath them. I guess she's getting all the mud off herself, right?
yeah.
And they start to have this really beautiful conversation, actually.
The truth is, sometimes Katara does act motherly, but that's not always a bad thing. She's compassionate and kind, and she actually cares about me. You know, the real me. That's more than my own mom. Don't ever tell her I said any of this.
Hey, my lips are sealed.
Bend your ear for ad-free episodes with Avatar Braving the Elements Premium.
Subscribe today on Apple Podcasts.